So we've discussed, we are through with HTML, and this is the div that we created. The goal of this div is that we use as sample, but to practice with div, we now go and show what we practice with div, okay? So for the sample to work very well, there's what we call class. There's what we call class, there's what we call ID in CSS. If you don't know much about class and ID, you can Google it, or you can also check out my other video on class and ID. But in a very short way, class enables you to be able to, CSS deals with styling. When you style, you want to color your work, to style your work. So if you put them in class, you need to style like plenty of material, plenty of container, plenty of items together. They go together at the same time. But if it's on a ID, ID is just unique. It's just for one particular area, one particular style, one particular material, one particular element. It's just like saying a pronoun and noun. Now is the name of any person, right? The pronoun can be used for any, like he, and refer to both male and female, just something like that, okay? Let's not talk more. By the time I start pricing, you get these things very well. So without wasting time, just come to your div, click on it, give a space, then write class. Okay, let's create a class for this. So let's call this class box1. Box1. Okay, box1. Then you will do the same thing for the second one, which is box2. Create a class and also name it box2. So let's create a class. I will call this class box2. Box2. Then we also want to create a div. So for you to create a div, just after your semicolon, you click, give a space, then you create not a div, sorry, I'm calling it div. Class and ID. Let's create ID. Okay. So let's call the ID. You can just simply name it. Okay, let the ID be box1. Sorry, let the ID be box1. And let the class just be box. Let it just be box. No need of naming it box1, box2. So that way we can say, because remember, for class can go together. If you write box, all the item of box will go with that class. But if it's ID, it's only one. So let's demarcate by using box1, box2 for our ID. Okay. So here we create the ID of the second one and call it box2. Don't worry, if you don't get it well, you don't need to worry. By the time we start the practical aspect of it, you get these things very well. So you don't need to worry too much about it. Okay. So having done that, let's now proceed to CSS. And for us to go to CSS, the first thing you do, just the way you create your image.jpg, the way you create your about.html, footer.html, index.html, that's in process. Just bring your mouse over your mouse to the first plus, click on the new file, and for CSS, instead of using .html, will now be .css. Okay. So since we are going to do we are going to do is more like styling, so let's say style.css. Okay. But the good news is that you can save with anything you like. Okay. If you don't want to use style, you can use anything you like. But don't forget, you must end with .css. So I choose style.css. You can choose whatever you like. Thank you. Now, for here in CSS, there's what we call code bracers. For example, let's say let's go back to our index. We want the body, you want to give the body a color. What we do is you come to CSS, write body. I'm just giving as a sample. Write body, then hold down your shift key and press your code bracer. See it? Bring it down. So let's give him a background color. This background color is what we call the property, then this is a value. Don't forget, the property background color must end with full color, while the value, which is what we're going to give it now, the color we want to give it now, should end with semi-colon. Okay, so let's give him this color. Which color do you think is nice? You can actually type the color yourself. Any color you want to give, type it yourself, and it will be fine. Okay, so you can start to type it yourself, or you can give it that way. So give him the color brown. Okay, now let me also show you something. If you hover your mouse to this color brown, look at it, it now brings out a selection of color. So here you can choose any color you like. You can make it a little bit white, you can make it dark, you can make it completely red. You choose that color that is outside this. And if you check here, as you're opening your mouse, see where they write RGB. This RGB is a special character for colors. R stands for red, G stands for green, B stands for blue. So, and these numbers are what each of them is, the value for each of them. Red is 165, green 42, and blue 42. So if you choose something like this, we give it that way. So you can use RGB, you can use color directly. There's what we call HCS. You can use, so there's so many ways you can use to add color to your writing. So that way, since I don't really go on color, but let's continue for now. So after giving the background color, we can also decide to put color to our write-up. But for now, let's check if what it did has entered. So do Control X as usual. Come back to index.html, right click, open with Lifesaver. Wow, nothing works. Nothing works, right? Are you guessing why it didn't work? Do you know why nothing works? It's as simple as ABC. I did it this way because I want to teach you something that you won't forget, okay? You see that the color didn't apply. It's supposed to be red everywhere, but there's no red. Why did it fail to apply? Simply because if you just come to your index, this is our index.html, you scroll down, there is no linkage of CSS. CSS is external, so it's supposed to link it to your index for it to work. So I have a tutorial on it under my introductory aspect of HTML and CSS. You can go there and see how you can link your index to your CSS to your HTML. But for the sake of this our project, let me just show you here. If you want to know more about details of it, just go down to my file under HTML and under CSS, introduction to CSS, and read it up. And then watch the video, practice it, and you'll be fine with it. So for us to do this, just come up. This is up on your head, top of the head. Email after the head, just scroll down. You see the header after the title. Scroll down before the body. Look at the head, look at the body. Okay. Email after the title. Ceiven will click your mouse, bring it down. Okay. So there's what we call link. I've already told you about link. We're going to use it now to link this up, so it will work perfectly fine. Okay. So let's link it up. So we use link to link it. Just type link. Select it, and if you check here, say link ref style sheet. Page ref is which is page reference, but what are we referencing? We are referencing CSS, and here is it, style.css. So whatever you use to save, if you use style.css, you put it here. If you use another name, for any name you use at all that ends with CSS, come over to page ref and put it in between. So that's what do I put it? Style.what? CSS. Okay. And now we are fine, we are good to go. So do Ctrl S for save. And now let's go back and see if what we do, if the color the red color has applied. So did you see it? Everywhere is now completely red. You can scroll it, everywhere is red. So this is how you can use color. There are a lot of tutorial on colors. You want to know more about colors, check out my introductory aspect when I talk about color on my introduction to CSS in my other videos. You can read them up, watch the video up, and then learn a lot from it. So let's move on because we have a lot to cover today. Let's move on. We have already given him the color red that we're talking about. Let me also show you something. Another one I want to show you now is about H1. You know, the last part that when we are doing our HTML, I told you about we talk about ID and class, right? Now let me explain it practically for you to understand before we go. No, we've not started solving it. I'm just trying to give you instances of how you use all this. Now, if you come over here to your HTML, index.html, if you scroll down, look at the paragraph. These are the paragraphs we have. Then let's just scroll to H. This is our H2. Also, under this H2 are goals. You see our goals, right? If I add color to this H2, every H2 on this website will have the same color. Why? Because the color applied, you didn't separate it. So for you to separate, you make use of class or ID. So that way, if for example our goals is on H2 and the second one, which is our, let's scroll down. The second one, which is our what now? Talk about our goals. The other one is our introduction to Ceiven, this marketing. Okay, welcome to Ceiven, H1. Let's agree that this H1 is H2. If I prevent I add color to H2 or H1, all of them will have the same color. For you to classify them, to separate them, so color will be different from each other, you can use class. Okay, you use class. So we use it now. Let's do it practically so you understand. Let me show you. Let's take a very good example. If you check our footer, we have H3, right? H3, H3, H3. So all our H3, let us give them one particular color and see how it will be. So bring it down, as don't forget what we said before, page 3. Then the next is your code browser. Some people like to space before it. If you like, can give space after your hit. You can space it like this. If you like, cannot space it. It will still work. Okay. So let me space this one so you know it will still work. If you like, can leave it like this and type whatever you want to type. Or okay, if you like, can also bring it down to work to be neater. It will still work. So let's put it color for hit. Let's give him color. What suggesting anything? What do you think we should give? Let's give him something Azure. Azure. Let's give him Azure. So Control S for save. Now let's take that. Explain what I want to explain to you. Open a lifesaver. Now let's go down to our filter. You see it? So do you notice something? Useful link is white. Color newsletter, your email, contact us, all the three of them. These are the three H3. They have the same color immediately. So normally, if you use class and ID, to help you to give this, for example, maybe you want to give useful link red, you want to give newsletter brown, you want to use contact us a yellow. I'm just going as an instance. I'm not saying that's what you want to do, but you can actually change the color using class and ID. Without class and ID, any H3 in this website will have this color, and you may not like it that way, unless if you want all of them to have the same uniform color. So that is the difference between using class and ID and just styling a particular PHP or any other particular aspect of HTML. Hope you're getting it like this. If you didn't get it like this, don't worry. The more we go, the more you understand it. So now let's take it back and then use class and ID so I can able to understand what I'm trying to say using class and ID. Separate these two and see that you have different. Now let's take another example. Under that same footer, look at our div class for H3. Contact us, under contact us now H3. Okay, look what I'm talking about. We create a class, a div class of code 3. Now let's use code 3 and add and change the color, and you see what will happen now. So that you take the same color like others, you have a different color, is what you are trying to achieve, and that's what class and ID always achieve. So let's go back to our style sheet.css, come to style.css, come down again, use code 3, okay? Use code 3, space, and for you to use class, then you have to put dots. Don't forget, it will be dot code 3 for class. So we get to ID, I'll tell you what I'm going to use. But for class, use dot. Whatever you name it, after dot, before you put the name, then as usual, you can like try to space or not to space, and then open your code browser, bring it down, and let's add this color to be something else. Color, let's give him color what now? Let's give him blue, color blue, and let's try to save our work. Then let's come back and see if it has applied. As usual, let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Did you see it? So finally, it has changed to what? Blue. It has changed to what? Blue. So this is how it works. All the code tree has changed to blue. So with a class or ID, you can separate colors. So you're now, instead of having white all through, you now have blue and white. I believe you've gotten something from this. So let's move ahead and then start styling our work and make it look like a website. But that's our goal. I'm just want to explain to you so I can get the logic of what I'm saying. So now I want to work starting from the first place. We want to start with our navigation menu. This is what I mean by navigation menu. If you check this website, let me take you to the site we are using as a case study. Where if you scroll down on the site, you notice the way that you see where our home is. You see home, you see blog, you see my account, you see shop, everything. And you see when you put your mouse on it, it turns kind of green or something. Just the same color that is here. Okay, you notice it. So this is what I want to do first. So we're going to start with this. Now for us to achieve this, remember, see our own, see our index page, see our bar page, see our contact page. They are all lined up horizontal instead of being there. So how do we achieve that? Now for us to achieve that, that's why I want to bring you in, which is border, margin, padding, and the rest of them. Now I've already have a lecture on border, margin, and padding introduction, but for the sake of this, our project, let us run a little introduction on border and padding. Okay. So what means we do a little bit border and padding. So for us to do this, we are going to use our boss. Remember the boss I said you should create. Hope you've done your boss. Remember the class is boss, ID is boss1, another one is boss and ID is boss2. So let's now go and use this, create a border padding for this and see how it will work. Okay, so let's go to our style sheet. And remember I told you that if you are talking about class, you use dots. So I will do, you just press dot box, and as usual space, code browser, bring it down. Want to give him a background color. So let's actually know what our boss, the space that this boss is taking. That's what I want to give him color so I can know the space that he's taking. Let's give him something blue. Let's give him something blue. Control S for save as usual. Go to your index, right click your index, open with Lifesaver. Now let's scroll down and see, okay, these are boss, see, boss 1, boss 2. You notice something that the boss covered the whole place because it's a div, okay? But let's now on down, see where it has covered and the space is too small. So let's now make it bigger so we can actually know where the boss is coming. To make it bigger, you have to introduce width and height, okay? So let's do a width of 100 and height 100. Let's make it to 200. So give him a width. You want a width as well. Width should be 200 pixels, 200 pixels, and let's give him a height of that same 200 pixels. Height of 200 pixels. Same 200 pixels. Okay. Then Ctrl S for save. Let's see where it has occupied so far. Let's go there. So, but you notice something now. Let's be in the context of margin and padding. Look at it has increased, right? And look, it only covers, this is the only place that is covered now. This is a width of 200 pixels out of 200 pixels. This is boss 1, this is boss 2. There is no demarcation. How do you demarcate it? You use margin and padding to demarcate. Margin is giving a space outside. Giving a space outside. While padding is giving a space inside. What am I trying to say? Let me show you a very good example practically. I don't believe in theory, okay? So just bring it down. Let's give it a margin. Let's give it a margin. Up with a margin of, let's say, 30 pixels and 0. This 30 pixels is for top and bottom, white is for left and right. Okay, 30 pixels and 0. Now let's save, Ctrl S, and see. I want to also be seen so you can see what is happening there. Okay, let's scroll down. Let's scroll. You see it. So now there's a demarcation. So in between this space, this is the margin. Space between boss 1 and boss 2. This is the 30 pixel space that we just give it. Okay. Now what about padding? Let's see how padding works. We also give a padding of 30 pixels. And remember what I told you? Don't worry, when I get that, we'll explain. Let's just put a padding of 30 pixels as well. Padding. Give me a padding of, let's say, 20 pixels. 20 pixels. It should be, the other one should be 0 as well. Okay. Ctrl S for save. Now let's check it and see what has happened. Open and let's scroll. See it. So you see the box. The box has come down. In between box 1 and up, you see there is a space there. That space is padding. So padding is a space inside, while margin is a space outside. You see it. Box 2 to up here, you see a space. So we give them a space so that now the boys have a space. So let's continue our work. Now notice something. These two are display block. Okay, they are display block. What we want to achieve is this. Let me show you what we want to achieve. We want to achieve this. Instead of being displayed as a block, it should display inline, right? So how do we do for it to be to display inline? Let us now go ahead. Let's go up, down, bring it down. There's what we call display setting. Okay. Now, if you display, or normally, if you want to display block, you leave it that way. But if you click on display block, it will still be display block. But if you want to display inline, let's see what happens with display inline. Display inline. Going to be inline, right? Display inline. Use Ctrl S. Now let's go and see what happened to it. Open with Lifesaver. You notice something? Look at our boss again. It has become boss 1, boss 2. Where are all the space? Where are all the big? All the, where is the width and the height that we gave you? The fact that when you display inline, inline has no respect for your width and height. It has no respect for your width and height. When you click display inline, if you only take that line, that space of line, that is just the work is just available for and nothing more. Okay, that do not do it so I can come back to where it was before. That's when you now talk about inline block. Instead of saying display inline, we try to say display inline block. Please try to master this. The reason why I'm explaining this thing to you because we want to use it on our website for us to take this thing, for us to take this to make our work to be like this. That home that we shown before to be like this. So try to understand this concept, okay? These are some major concepts in CSS. So instead of saying display inline, we should display inline block. So let's click on it, display inline block. You see that all it will now give respect to width and height. It will now come back normal, but it will be displayed as inline block. So let's go and check it and see if it has done. Let me make it bolder so you see it. Now the height has come up, but yet to display inline block. And it must display inline. So let's watch it as if it has shown. Don't forget what we did. We come to style. We come to display inline dash block. Okay, display inline dash block. Now let's save your work as usual. Then you right click to see if what we said have applied. So let's scroll. Fine, good. You see it? This is inline block. So we've achieved this. We can actually send it to the left, to the right, and any other places, but gradually we'll get there. But use is it working? If you're able to achieve this, then congratulations as we. So now that we've been able to achieve this, let's now go to our main work. Okay. So what I want to do now is that we want to go back and focus on where we want to do, which is our home page, about page, and contact us page. We want it to also display just that way, but this time around to display to the left. Okay, so let's see you in the next class, but that's what we're going to do in the next class.